Okay, so welcome everyone. I hope everyone had a good night's rest yesterday. And before we start, just let's do a 5-second self-check. How was your sleep last night? Did you have a good night's sleep, feeling nice and awake? Didn't have a good sleep, or among those who for whom it's not common to wake up feeling not well rested? Just a few seconds, just check in and answer yourself. Okay, so if you are in the second group, which is feeling like going through the day, feeling rested or having trouble focusing, and if that's something which you can relate to, even if not today, but in general, then I don't know whether you have given, this is common, it happens to many of us, and we really need to give a serious thought as to why. Because many times not getting proper sleep is the reason. The lack of good sleep, it affects not only our energy levels, but also our mental functioning, our ability to process information, to respond, focus, and so much more. And typically, most of us just go through this without really thinking much as to why that's happening. And I also want to take a moment to say that in these uncertain times, when there are so many changes happening, so many events locally, nationally, and the world at large, everyone is experiencing some emotions. There are different topics which we feel strongly about, which can be unsettling and upsetting. And there's fears and stress, which all of us feel during the day. And all of that affects our quality of sleep at night. And so, no matter where you are at the sleep spectrum, between like always get a great night's sleep to really most of the times it's not good or somewhere in between, I hope that you will find something in here which you can take and apply towards getting better sleep, because we, especially all of us, especially need it more. All of you need more energy to wake up and get through the day and manage things better. So most of you are familiar with Workwell. So very quick note for those who are brand new and hearing about Workwell for the first time. This is New York City's wellness program. It's free. Programs are offered in various areas: physical, mental, diet, taking disease preventive action, and health equity. So the topics for today is it's about sleep and the connection between sleep and wellness, impacts of poor sleep, and then the most important focus, which is what can we do about improving our sleep. And then we'll do a planning exercise, which is important because we don't want you to leave without actually just jotting down one or two things as to what you are going to do, so it doesn't get lost in the business and the weekend. So sleep, just starting with the basics, what is sleep? It's it's a period alternating between wakefulness. It's a period of rest. And most will agree that it's something which is we take for granted. It's quite, it would be an understatement to say that it is underrated when it comes to our topics of interest in terms of health and habits, what we would need to change. Very few of us have like, I want to improve my sleep on the top, and it's understandable. It's something which is so daily. It's just, it feels mundane. It's something which is like you just lie down, fall asleep, and get up. And that is what we hope to bring awareness to this webinar workshop as to what how much more sleep is than just being in a subconscious state during a part of the day. So sleep is as important as diet and physical activity for a healthy and long life. And it is just so much more than just lying down. It serves so many important functions. It serves the critical restorative function for the brain and the body. It's a source of physiological and psychological resilience. It's an integral part of health. And it is essential for staying healthy, for having more energy, for managing stress, and functioning at our best throughout the day. And also going back to the previous point about how we just take sleep for granted, or wellness, health and wellness is a balance. It's a balance of healthy habits, and we health, exercise
City
and
exams
diet
on your phone. Click, then
is
scroll to correction officer. Register
is
today.
very important. Of course, however, sleep is the foundational aspect which affects all of these systems, and it's something which we need to prioritize. So the benefits, how does sleep help? It helps to respond quickly, um, think clearly, maintain memories. And this goes back to the introduction when I was talking about how sleep directly affects our cognition, which is the mental processes. It helps to process the information, stay calm, repairs muscles, replenishes energy. It helps to find infections, and it also regulates hormones, reduces the risks of diseases, and helps to fight infection. So how much sleep do you need? This is the recommended chart. Adults need at least 7 hours. The recommended is 7 to 9 hours per day. And I just want to make a note that this is a general and applicable for most. However, it's possible that you know of some person who has been sleeping for 6 hours for the past 25 years and is as fit as a fiddle. And so it is not a one size fits all, and everyone's needs are different. So just wanted to put that out. However, for most of us, we do need at least 7 hours of sleep every day. And also regarding the upper range, sleeping more than your regular recommended hours is not always bad. It's actually needed sometimes when you're recovering from a sickness, or are just sleep deprived, or there's just more going on during the day, stress or something else. Our body, our mind, we just need more sleep at that time. So just also be aware of that. So this is just a fun fact. This is like trends in insufficient sleep across the United States. And the lighter the shade, the less percentage of people are sleep deprived. The darker, it's more. And so if we look at this in terms of a grade, New York State has C. We are somewhere 37 to 39% of the people who are reportedly don't get enough sleep. And that's a lot, even 30% of the population not getting sleep is a lot. So 40%, which is almost like little under half of New Yorkers and New York State, people are not getting enough sleep. And again, just take a moment at what that means. 4 out of 10 people are waking up and going about their days carrying a heavier burden than what they need to. Because the lack of sleep, it's like we understand the phone. I mean, when the battery is really down, it's hard for the phone to function. We also have it's like a battery. We are not recharged. It affects our functionings. It affects our ability to do various things, and it just makes things harder and more difficult for us. So sleep quality, it's not just how much or the amount of sleep which you get, but it's also what is the quality, how well are you sleeping, which is equally important. And sleep quality is to do with getting uninterrupted sleep, and getting a refreshing, restorative, energizing sleep. And some signs of poor sleep are you're feeling sleepy and tired even after you have recommended hours of sleep. You wake up during the nights, you have trouble feeling asleep, or you experience symptoms of sleep disorders. All of these can indicate you're not getting proper sleep. And if you have these poor sleep signs, please consult with your doctor to see just for more information. And the purpose of this presentation is not to focus on specific disorders, but general common sleep disruptors. But this is just put out for information as a flag that if you have some sort of sleep or disorder that definitely affects your sleep quality. And so please consult with your doctor for what can be done. And these are just some common disorders: insomnia, difficulty to initiate or maintain sleep, then restless legs syndrome. It's an irresistible urge to move the legs. It's has unpleasant sensations, twitching, and many other examples. Then there's sleep apnea. This is intermittent pauses in the breath, and it can like lead to gasping or create like it reduces the amount of oxygen which your body would otherwise take. And narcolepsy. This is severe daytime sleepiness. It can also induce sudden brief naps. So again, this is just to bring up that there are other causes like these ones. The previous ones are more like which we can relate to, but there can be something more going on. And if you feel you are going through certain symptoms regularly, please consult with your doctor. And so the next few slides, it's really important for us to be aware of how critical good sleep is. And again, I'm reinforcing this, that we take sleep for granted. We don't really understand how much and what all it does, what all is happening in our body, in our systems, in our mind, brain, what all sleep is facilitating. And so this hopefully, I wasn't aware of so much. I just knew sleep is needed, but I wasn't aware of what are the impacts of it when you keep missing like every few days or every few days every week, how much it can impact our ability to function. So again, and both sleep, when I'm saying sleep, it means both the amount of sleep and the quality of sleep. So it both are important factors. And what it can do is it really impacts the physical health. It can increase blood pressure, risk of diabetes, weight gain, stroke, migraines, and these are some, but there's like, if you look up, there's like a host of other conditions which are linked to inadequate sleep. And then mental health. Poor sleep has it leads to poor mental health in the long run, and in the short run it can just like create more stress and anxiety. And conversely, I mean, it's both. It's like if you have certain mental conditions, if you are experiencing stress and anxiety, it is going to affect your sleep quality. And conversely, if you have poor sleep quality, then it is going to create or worsen your stress, anxiety, and any other conditions. So, I mean, and at a certain point, it really, it's like both impacting each other. So no matter where you are starting off, it is going to induce the other. So it's very important to focus on getting good sleep, because that is something which is within our control, right? Like that's something which we can take steps to have better sleep, and that is going to help reduce some of the other conditions which we experience. So continuing, these are some of the things which we don't really realize how much it can affect our day-to-day functioning. It leads to poor decision making, and which can be understood, right? Like the end of the day, you're really tired, you're stressed. It's not the best time when we can take good decisions. Then even difficulty functioning during the day, when a person is sleep deprived or not having enough energy and rested, it can affect with motor coordination, for example, cooking and driving, and it affects the memory. And it can be really, it can have significant consequences for when, if you're having child care or elder care, or it's like serious responsibilities, and you're forgetting things. And then concentration, which can affect everything, literally everything which we do, work, in the office, beyond. Concentration just helps us to do the work in a better way, less mistakes, improve quality. And just the lack of poor sleep, if we see the past just few slides, how much it affects at all levels, from the like physical, mental, emotional. So I just check in with all of you. How many of you are still awake? So this is like a test poll plus a informal check. So I'm going to initiate the poll. So let's see how many people are still awake. Okay, most we are close, like already we are close to 80% respondents. So I'm going to close and I'm going to just share the answers. So most people, 63% of the people are saying 4 to 6 hours of sleep. And I'm just going to bring us back to that slide of the recommended chart so we can better understand this in that context. So 65% of the people are getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep. 30% of the people 7 to 9 hours, and close to 10% are getting less than 4 hours. You're just taking a pause here to let that sink in as to where you are and also those around you where they are. Okay, so let's just share what do you think is stopping you from getting enough sleep just based on whatever you information we just heard, and also your, if you have previously thought about this, please share in the chat. So I'm just reading a few out. Restlessness, brain can't turn off, very relatable. Mind is constantly thinking. Environmental surrounding disturbances, neighbors, taking care of family, snoring, family, working for too long, restlessness, going to bed late, working that sounds too long, menopause, stress, worry, uneasiness, chores, screen time, too many activities, grief, lack of screen time, work, stress, anxiety. So these are the things which we are all experiencing, and whether in uncertain times or otherwise, there's always things which are happening which can affect our sleep. Again, it's good to remember that what happens during the day is going to impact us during the night, even if we shrug it off or ignore it during the day. And there are certain things which we can do which is in our control, and there are things which are not. And so it's very important to just take time to step back and focus on what is it that I can do, and what is it that I just have to let it go, and ignore it, or take actions on what I can do to make myself feel better. But taking care of yourself, healthcare, self-care, your needs is very, very important. And of course, the focus of this is on sleep, but I just want to pitch the whole wellness, physical, mental, emotional wellness is just so important. And going back to the topic, sleep is something which we do 1/3 of our life. We are sleeping. It's a lot of time. And if we are not getting good results out of that, then it's not just taking time away, but it's also having no purpose. So really need to focus and try to improve our sleep. So what can we do about this? And so this is after that previously not so happy slides of the impacts of lack of sleep. So the next few slides hopefully are going to be helpful in telling us how we can improve our sleep. And as you will see, it's just so, most of the thing is so simple. And many times something which looks so easy and simple, we kind of feel it's not that important. And that's what we need to get away from. So, okay. So regular bedtime and wake up time, again, sounds so simple, but it makes a big difference in making that habit, in better sleep hygiene. Just trying to be as regular as you can when you go to bed and get up. Then the second one is more really about a bedtime routine. You know, when we know like babies have a bedtime routine, and we know baby it's the good effects of a bedtime routine are not just limited to babies. We can absolutely, and we do benefit from that. So you can think of how can you engage or just create your own routine. Like what can you do to just make like slide more easily into bedtime, engage in activities which are winding down, such as light reading, gentle exercises, yoga, meditation, breathing exercises, anything which, or listening to music, anything which will allow you to just relax, start like slowly unwinding, is going to go a long way towards getting better sleep. And especially avoid doing any activities and which you know can agitate you or can stimulate you. And we know that that is news reading, being on social media, all that is kind of like just triggering. And that affects not just about falling asleep, but it is, research also shows that the kind of thoughts which we have just before going to bed has very significant consequences on our sleep quality and how we feel later on. So it's you can also do affirmations, positive thoughts, positive thinking, maybe gratitude, practice gratitude. There's just so many ways where you can practice activities or exercises which are mindful and calming. So just create a bedtime routine. It's a very worthwhile activity to do. And the last one, do not bring any electronic device, phone, tablet, computer, into your bedroom. I know that we all have our reasons why we take it. When we are taking it into the, whether it's for charging or it's to turn on the alarm, or I just want to check that one thing. And we know, you know, I know what we do. Once we take the phone, it's very quickly, without even realizing, we jump to those things which are on our mind during the day. And then it's like it's very difficult to get out of it, because once you start scrolling, we know how it is addictive and how it can like jump to other things. So just really try to avoid bringing the phone into the bedroom. That's the best way. And then there are some tips which you can do, turning off, like having a bedtime mode, so the screen turns black automatically, which is discouraging. So just, or just like having a rule, no screen time, like whatever, like an hour or so before bedtime. So those are the nighttime, and this is the daytime, what we can do. And again, what we do during the day affects our night. And this is just a good principle just to remember. Anything like what we are feeding ourselves, our bodies, our minds during the day is going to impact our bodies and our minds. So getting regular sunlight is so beneficial. getting increasing physical activity, whatever you like, walks, jogging, biking, yoga, anything is just helpful. And not just for sleep. I mean, regular activity is just shown to so many benefits for physical health and mental health. So if we do that, whatever, increasing the physical activity or exercise, it automatically kind of helps get more sunlight in. So it all, one thing is like checking off all these boxes. So food and sleep. There are some foods which are just not helpful for sleep. There are certain foods, drinks, substances that can and do interfere with sleep: caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, just to name a few. These are stimulants. They affect our body and mind, and it's best to avoid these few or more hours if possible before the bedtime. And now I think most people are aware of caffeine and its effects on sleep, but just for those who are not aware, the reduction in caffeine helps addresses sleep disturbances. So if you, for example, if you're having 2 cups in the morning, or try to skip 1 cup, or if you're having 3 cups during the day, have two, or if you have a cup late in the evening or afternoon, try to replace that with some non-caffeine drink like a healing herbal tea or whatever you like, and just experiment. Do it for a few weeks and see if that makes any difference, because many times the experience and the positive feeling is the best motivator, getting a reward to help us to change habits. So try it out. Alcohol can and does help to fall asleep, but it can prevent rest. It prevents deep and restful sleep. So try to avoid that, and also avoid large meals just before bedtime. And it's also like after a meal, if we have do some activity, whether even a few minutes of walk or any light activity, it is so beneficial. And you can look it up, walking or light activity right after a meal. It helps improve blood, something in blood. It's just good for heart, it's good for digestion, it's good for sleep, a lot of benefits. So foods which are good for sleep: whole grains, vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, fish, olive oil. In general, I think now avoiding or reducing red meat and processed foods is a dietary guideline for everything, just for health, general health and wellness. Then proteins: chicken, egg, cheese, fish, peanuts, seeds, milk, tofu, turkey products. And high quality carbohydrates like whole grain breads, cereals, brown rice, oats. And again, this is something which you can try, like at night, like the dinner, try to have more of these ingredients and skip the ones which were in the previous slide, if that's something which you do regularly, and see if that makes a difference, because this kind of thing can show results relatively quickly, because it's like we ingest and we digest, and the effects are immediate next few days, how we feel. So let's do this planning exercise. If you have a notepad or a sheet, or you can just do somewhere on your computer, what will you do in the next week to improve your sleep habits? Just write down 1, 2, 3 of the things which you, based on what you've the things which you saw, what you would like to practice next week, or starting tonight over the weekend. I'll just go back to the slides. So if it helps, these were the regular bedtimes, then creating a bedtime routine. And we went through many things in terms of just calming activities, even like enhancing your bedroom environment, making it quiet, nice, relaxing, keeping a cool temperature, turning on music, just cleaning out the clutter, like, it make the bedroom really inviting, make it nice. So, and of course, very important, avoiding bringing the phone. If you do use the phone in the bed, how long or how detrimental it is in terms of just, it's not just taking time away from your sleep, but also we go to bed, sleep, having those thoughts. If there was some news which we're reading which was upsetting or triggering, we are carrying those emotions and thoughts into our sleep, and it's just not good for us. We don't need to do that to ourselves. And so this is what we are saying about things which we can control with just willpower, discipline. And I know this last one is not easy because I have struggled with this. I still struggle. I keep doing this successfully for a period, and then I use one of the reasons uh, of why I take it, and before long I'm back into just using the phone at night. And so I just know it's you have to be really strict and disciplined about it. And then during the daytime, just exercise activities, just recreational, whatever you like. We'll just give like a minute or two for this. And as we are doing that, I'm going to show the next slide also, because that's part of this exercise. I'll put the music on in case you already know. So this is what ultimately I would like you to take away from this webinar. In your hands, you will do the previous things, which is like listing down all the activities which you like or you can do. And then just create this table, like write them down 1 to 3. Think of the challenges or obstacles which you know or think will come in the way. Think of solutions, what you would do to address it. And so this way you have a plan. You have your sleep improvement plan ready before you head into the weekend, and which you can start. So let's just take a minute for this. also, if you have, if you're done with this map table, if there are other thoughts which you had, so just like personal, as we were going through the different content, if there's something which just came to you for your personal reflection or something, do write it down in the notes. It's just helpful for you. It could be anything regarding wellness, any thought, any idea, any inspirational feeling, just write it down for you, so it's something you can check back in later. So I think that we can move on, but if folks need more time, please continue it after the presentation. So we are at the end, closing. So in summary, we'll just go through a recap of the tips and suggestions. Be consistent. Go to bed around more or less same time. I just was responding to some questions which were directly sent to me about what this is. It's, just use your discretion. It doesn't mean exactly, at dot 15 minutes here or there, half an hour is okay. What it really means is that sometimes with some people's schedules are really erratic. Weekends is completely off. Weekdays is different. Even within the weekdays, it really depends. They don't know whether they're going to go to bed at 9 or 11 or 1. So generally, that whatever it is, like, 9 o'clock, you're going to start winding down. And then if instead of 9:30, it becomes 10, it's okay. Then making sure your bedroom, again, bedtime routine, create it for yourself. It's just so nice, babies enjoy the bedtime routine. We have heard and read so much about how it's like BBB and all those different things, and it still applies to us. Just having that routine, and it's all enjoyable activities. You can choose whether it's light music, it's reading inspirational book, or inspirational content, or even there's just so much free things on YouTube, music channels, inspirational channel. The only one caveat with YouTube is, if you're not if you're not careful, very quickly you will just start searching something else. And I'm just talking about myself, that what happens many times. I take the phone in thinking I'm just going to do this good activity, and someone wrote about comedy. That's one of the things. I love comedy, so I'll just little 10 minutes of comedy time, or 10 minutes of this inspirational talk, some channels which I follow on YouTube. But too often, what that is just like I don't know whether it's an excuse, but very quickly I am doing other things, and most of the time those other things ends up reading news or some topics and they're just upsetting, and then I go to bed feeling just like helpless and just feeling down. And so yourself best. So if you're going to use the phone for what you've decided, great. Otherwise, just find other ways to get in that music in a way where your phone is not next to your table. Creating a really nice ambience for your bedroom. That's such a nice activity, cleaning out, putting in things which you really like. Then we touched upon the electronic devices. I think it's the main one of the main culprits. Then food and diet, avoid substances, drinks, which are not good for your sleep, which are not good for your health. Once in a while, it's okay. But if you're doing that too frequently, it's just not good. Do what you can. Your mind, right? What is going to work. Just whether you want to uh, read up on the issues of how it's going to affect you, or whether you want to use positive inspiring thing, or like a little bit of scaring yourself as to these are the effects. Do what you need, but reduce the diet and drinks which are not healthy, as a general wellness and healthy habit. Exercise, uh, getting something regular exercise is just so good. It's so beneficial, not just for sleep, for general wellness. So many studies show just like a lunchtime walk outside helps those who do it regularly. People say that it removes the depression, it calms them down. So do some activity daily if possible, and then mindfulness, meditation, 10 minutes of maybe meditation at night, even 5 minutes before you go to bed, or just sitting and 5 minutes of focusing on the breath with the eyes closed, or deep breathing. um, it's very simple, it doesn't have to be complicated. Actually, it shouldn't. Or use apps which can they have all these apps now for sleeping or calming, or even guided meditations at night. YouTube has a ton of free channels for guided meditations and guided um, relaxation activities. So check out. And if nothing else, a very simple thing is just sitting or lying down, and we are going to do an activity which I purposely put at the end. I didn't want folks to fall asleep in the middle. It's very relaxing. So you can do that lying down, or you can just sit and do a few minutes of deep breathing, or a few minutes of meditation, and it will do wonders. Again, not just for sleep. 5 minutes of meditation at night is going to just have so much health and physical and mental health benefits. Just now rounding off the sleep science, what science is telling us. All these points which we have put together, they're just based on research and studies and evidence, and good sleep habits are critical for good physical health and mental health. Sleep is the foundation. Most of the building, restorative, and energizing activity is happening at night, and if you don't get good night's sleep regularly, you are going to just carrying a heavier burden. So prioritize sleep. Lack of sleep, we saw all the links with physical health, the diseases which can be aggravated, the mental health and mental functioning. And again, sleep means not just the quality, but also the quality. Both the amount and the quality of sleep are important. And lastly, just take steps. Again, this fourth point is most important. Most of us are aware of most of this information, but few take that bridge the gap between just knowing and wanting and actually taking action. And I hope that the last couple of minutes of activity where you actually wrote down, because that makes a difference. There's studies say that when we just write down something, even if we don't do anything about it, just writing down an intention, a goal, that increases the chances of us doing it. And that's why I put that in. So take steps. There's so much what is happening to you, some of it which you can understand and realize, but some of it which you just don't even know subconsciously how your heart and your emotions are reacting to certain things. There's just a lot going on now, and so now is especially more time that you give yourself the proper sleep needed, because you just want to wake up better, more energized, feeling better able to deal with the day's stress and work responsibilities. So that's the end of the slide, and I just hope that this is there are a few more slides, but so this is an activity which you can, this is done lying down. It's very simple. You inhale through the nose and let the air fill in through the abdomen, like really feel the inhalation and your tummy increasing, and then the chest expanding. So it's like your balloon, your whole upper body. And then you exhale through the mouth, and do this a few times, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever just feels comfortable. And then you can take a small gap and then do it again, and it will make a difference, because breathing exercises, they make a difference for relaxation. So we are at the end. For those, please, if be aware that we have the EAP, which is a free and confidential service for New York City employees and your family members. Any issues, any concerns, any stress, please take use of this free confidential service. This team is right there, our colleagues. They're in the floor above us. Really nice folks. They're just so caring. So if you have anything, please reach out to them. And then also the 988 helpline, if you or someone you know is in a crisis, please share this with them. So again, a quick poll, please let us know how this session has been for you. Just give me a moment.
So what's going to happen is that we have you enrolled, Ms. Addison, as a retiree April 1st, 2025.
Okay. You should, okay. Sorry about the long wait. I had many windows. Okay, that's very heartening. I'm glad you found this very helpful. And also we are going to be sending out this deck. So if you need to, you can just go back into the points. So I'm just going to end this poll, and there's one more. So do you feel more confident in your ability to improve the sleep just based on everything we heard and the exercise which we did? Okay, thank you. That's very really glad to see this. So just before you go, a very quick announcement that we have upcoming events going on. There's a menstruation webinar, the Art is Life, submission is still open, and the Let's Move NYC Step Challenge, it's still open. So you will get the link in the wrap-up email. So definitely, if you haven't checked out, explore, register, and thank you so much for attending Friday afternoon. I do hope that you're all inspired to take this step. It's like sleep is so enjoyable. Why not make most of it? Why not get the best out of it? Just try out a few things, see how it feels, and if you're feeling well rested and energized, it's just so much more better. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. So with that, I will just say thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and see you at our next Work Well event.
Thank you.
What was the name of the music that you were playing?
Oh, I'll give it to you. Just hold on.
Thank you.